Hey guys, it's Lexi and welcome back to my channel. I have read technically 28 books because that scared me. I'm basically finished with one today. So I've read 28 books so far. My goal was to read 100 this year, but I kind of got into a reading slump, but it's picking back up now. I don't think I'm gonna get to 100, but I might get to like 70. Anywho, these are all the books I have read, the 5-star rating that I gave them out of 5 stars, and just a simple yes, no, or meh on if I would recommend to you to read them. And I'm using my Goodreads situation because I don't remember what I rated all of these. Okay, so I'm going to begin with the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. We're going to start with the first one, but just to begin, this whole trilogy, yes, that's all I would say about that. For Caraval, I gave it 5 stars. I loved the world building, the magic, the setting. Everything was just fantastic. For someone who hasn't read something similar to this, it was new for me and I really enjoyed it, and I was rooting for the main characters so hard. Okay, the next one is Legendary. Not my favorite in the series. I think the first one, Caraval, is my favorite, but I still really enjoyed this. I wasn't rooting for the main characters as much because they do switch around in the books, the main perspectives. However, this did answer a lot of questions and left me on the edge of my seat most of the time. So still a yes, but not my favorite. And then finally, the finale. I think this was a great way to end it. I gave this 4 stars. It satisfied all the questions I had, my curiosities, and what I wanted to happen for the main characters and the plot. There were some aspects that could have been improved upon, but besides that, 4 stars. So coming out of the Caraval series was the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. You don't have to read Caraval before you progress into that one, so you would survive if you didn't. I read it first and then I read Once Upon a Broken Heart next, and I'm glad that I did. So for the first book in the series, I only gave it 3 stars. I know why I did that and I don't want to spoil anything. I think it's because the main 2 characters, mostly the guy, I just wasn't into. And like my mindset changes on that as we progress, but there's just something about this that fell very flat for me. I was expecting more out of it because of how hyped up it was. The Ballad of Never After. I should have mentioned these are all by Stephanie Garber, but this one I gave 5 stars. This one's very popular, and I think this one's popular for a good reason. This kind of satiated your need for some romance because the other books in this world don't really fill that. And then there's a lot of character redemption and growth, so I really, really liked this one. A Curse for True Love. I gave this one 4 stars. I know why I did it, I think, because there was just some things that didn't make sense, or I was like, of course that would happen. Sorry, it's like really reflective. So some of it was kind of predictable, but I still really enjoyed like watching the main characters progress and change and come into themselves. So I should have clarified at the beginning, but to this whole series, I would say yes. I'm gonna move on to the Twisted series now. I am basically done with the last one. I'm on the epilogue. I'm gonna count this in my review. So Twisted Love, with the main characters of Alex and Ava, I gave 4 stars. I kind of wish I'd given 3 now that I'm reflecting on it. It was okay. These books are extremely spicy, and I think that's kind of what carries a story along. So I'm gonna say meh, because now that I'm reflecting on it, I don't think it deserves 4 stars, like going off of my taste. Why am I moving this around so much? Twisted Games, I gave 4 stars. No book in this series I've given 5 stars to because, I don't know, the books really base a lot of their everything off of the tension. But this I think is my favorite. If I could have given one 5 stars, it would have been this one with Bridget and Reese. Bridget is a princess and then she has a bodyguard and ... This one was a fresher take on the series. This one is definitely my favorite. Twisted Hate. I forgot to mention these are all by Anna Huang, but Twisted Hate with Jules and Josh. I don't know. I don't think I really enjoyed this. I didn't like their relationship. It was kind of annoying and very, very predictable, but also I liked it because it felt more realistic, because the other ones, all the guys are like million billionaires and he's more like at our level. So it was more relatable in that aspect. Everything else, Now Twisted Lies, excuse my bookmark, with Stella and Christian. Stella is my favorite girl for sure. I don't know how I feel about this book. I think I'm gonna end up giving it like a 3 star, a 3.5 if I could, because of how much I really like Stella and really relate to her. She feels the most just real out of all the girls. All I'm gonna say. So the series as a whole, I would say yes if you really want like the spice content. Ignore my AC, it just kicked on. But no if you want like good story building, because everything in here felt, I don't know, he's like obsessed over her. And we already read that in Haunting Adeline. We don't need it again. Although I don't know what came first, so just excuse that. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Yes, I gave this 5 stars. And regardless of the fact that the whole werewolf vampire trope is so like overdone nowadays, something about this just felt fresh and modern, and I don't care. I loved it. I read this so fast I would read it again. There's a certain thing, if you've read it and you know what I'm talking about, I'm not even gonna say it. I think you know where I'm going if you've read this book. That still scars me to this day. Besides that, yes. Okay, I'm gonna get a little controversial now. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I gave this a 5-star when I read it, but upon reflection, I think I would have done 4 stars instead. I loved this one compared to Iron Flame. I much prefer it. It's not really unique, especially if you've read Throne of Glass. A lot of the terminology that Rebecca Yarros uses isn't very fresh or different, but I do really enjoy the main 2 characters and their tension. I do have some questions on Violet and just why she's so weak or broken, because that never really gets explained. But besides that, yes, Iron Flame, ignore this, it's like not staying. I gave 3 stars and I stand by that. It was kind of a letdown for me. I really grew to despise the main couple. Like, I just wanted them to stop talking, either love each other or break up. It was just annoying. I don't know, this was a lot slower and the plot was really trying to build up to something. Kind of felt like a letdown. Am I still gonna be buying the 3rd book when it comes out? Yeah, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. The One Dark Window duology. Yes, this I think is the best collection I've read ever, almost, at least this year for sure. The first one I gave a 5-star. These are by Rachel Gillig. It's dark fantasy, it has romance, it has mystery, it has a whole lot of action, it's really fast paced. I loved this. This was very different from anything I've ever read in a good way, and I would recommend this to literally anyone. It's so good. And there's not really that much spice to it. You will survive without it, I promise. 2 Twisted Crowns I also gave 5 stars, and I'm not mad at that. I think they both deserve 5 stars because of how incredibly written they are, in my opinion. This really answered any question you would possibly have. It leaves no plot holes open, and it is extremely fast-paced as well. Yes, yes, yes. Crossed by Emily McIntyre. I gave this 2 stars, and I've read like her other ones. I remember this. This is kind of exuding twisted lies, like Stalker and The Girl. I don't know. I did not like it. I think I hated it. I remember reading this and just thinking, when is this gonna end? Because yeah, there was a lot of spice, and that's what these books are known for, but even that couldn't make me continue reading this. I don't even know why I finished this. I really shouldn't have. It didn't deserve to be finished. It ends with us, Colleen Hoover. This is the first book of hers I've read only because it's being turned into a movie, and all of my friends have read it except for me, so I didn't want to be out of the loop. I don't regret reading it. I did give it 4 stars. It just kind of felt predictable. I know it's not supposed to be this like happily ever after story, even though it kind of has a good ending, and I think it also kind of traumatized me a little bit because it reminded me of just some like dark stuff. I don't know, I'm just excited to see the movie. That's all I'll say about that. Wildfire from Hannah Grace. This is from her the Maple Hills collection. Like, she wrote Icebreaker, which I really enjoyed. This one I gave 3 stars, and I still stand by that. It's good. The level of romance is good. It just was kind of boring to me, and I think I was getting really annoyed with the main girl. Is it Aurora? I think she was annoying me a lot. So 3 stars, and I stand by that. Would I say yes to this? No. No. These books are really heavy. The From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer Armentrout. I'll just start off by saying yes at first, and then it goes downhill. Yeah, I don't think I'll be continuing if she puts out any more books, which she has. So for the first one, I gave 4 stars. I had a lot of questions on that whole maiden thing, and I know she's like really powerful. What's her name? I forgot. Poppy. I know she's really, really powerful in the whole realm of fantasy girls. I don't know. 4 stars. I would say yes though, like it is still a pretty good read. A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, I gave 5 stars. I don't know if it still deserves that. Maybe 4.5. This was really good though. I think this was the best book in the whole series. You see the love interest finally accept their feelings, and she grows into all that she can be. So I would definitely say yes to this. I think this carries the whole series, and then after this you're going downhill, and there's nothing stopping you. The Crown of Gilded Bones, I gave 3 stars. I don't even remember what happens in this. Oh, that's what happens. It was okay. It felt like a lot of word vomit and very slow story building, and I was just getting annoyed with everything, and I was kind of waiting for it to end. I was like, these don't need to be carried on this long. This could have ended in 3 books, but no, there's a 4th one. So The Crown of Gilded Bones, I would say yes if you want to know what happens in the story, but no if you want a good story. The War of Two Queens, I gave 3 stars. I know there's another one after this, but I think it's like just a retelling in the guy's perspective. No, this I think let me down a lot. I was just kind of annoyed. And this is heavy. Like, can you tell how heavy these books are? They're not fun to hold. So 3 stars and keep it before it gets any lower. Realm Breaker. This I DNF'd. I gave 2 stars. The world building was just too difficult for me to understand. This is kind of what entered me into a reading slump among others. I just want something simple to read, and this is not simple, which isn't bad, but it's just something I was not in the mood to read. So I definitely want to try this again later. For right now, it's gonna collect dust. Okay, House of Flame and Shadow. I gave this 3 stars. I think I'm still okay with that. I would still say yes just because I really wanted to know what happened, and it definitely gave you answers and you got to see a bunch of other characters' perspectives. This is a big book. It did not need to be this big, and the ending definitely took a like out of this world approach. It was a good read. I read it really fast considering how big it is, but that's all. Where's Archer's voice? Hello? Where did it go? I seem to have misplaced some books, so we're just gonna show you a quick picture of them. Archer's Voice, which I have, I don't know where I put it, by Mia Sheridan. I gave 5 stars. Yes, this is such an amazing book. I just recently read this, and I will for sure reread this in the future. I love it. It was just so sweet. Some of it was really intense, but I really appreciated this book. It's gonna become my baby. Normal People by Sally Rooney. I gave 3 stars. There is a show based off the book on Hulu that I tried watching but got bored of. This just didn't do it for me. It was really kind of depressing and too real, which is probably why I only gave it 3 stars, because I'm used to my whole fantasy shtick. So I think because it was too realistic is why I was like, oh gosh, this needs to end. It was still a good book. However, knowing my friends' taste, no, I would not recommend it to them. It's interesting. And then the last one that I don't have, because these 2 my friends gave to me to like loan out. It's not gonna load very well, but it's When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. I gave 4 stars. Reflecting on it, I think I would have done 3. It was very different from anything I've ever read, but it was trying so hard to be pro-feminist. There was like, the dragons were there for like 2 sentences, and the rest of it was like her inner turmoil and the world, and I was kind of bored of it. But with that being said, that brings this whole thing to a conclusion. Don't know if I'll get to my 100 book mark, maybe 70, 75. Next year we'll try 100 when I get a Kindle. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little collection of what's been keeping me busy. In case I didn't say this at the beginning, the reason why I've been MIA, I got married and my husband's in the Air Force, so life has been life. It's been busy, but I still try to find time to set aside and read. So thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.